Fucking pure gold. Comedy gold.
I came in from running last night, and my phone does this every once in a while. It just goes to a message. There's just a message appears. So I go to the thing, and it's a missed call from Doug Stanhope. I was like,
Uh-oh.
well, that's got to be a butt dial. So I turned it on, and I'll play it for you. I don't know where I fucking put my phone, but it's basically he and Bingo drunk in Vegas and saying, "Hey, we're just drunk dialing you, calling to tell you, we love you." And I was like, "This is fucking Doug Stanhope." I kick in the door to the kids' room and go, "Hey, you listen to that? Now you treat me with the fucking that's Doug fucking Stanhope call." So I was just it's. Oh, I need to get you a recording of it. I need to send it. It's hysterical. That they just out of the blue.
That's so cool.
Sold out show in Vegas, and he comes up.
He's trying down you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fine. Actually, I do have a. I'm sending our good friend Doug Stanhope and Chaley and the gang out there. I'm sending them some more Blaggards brew. And incidentally, we need to do another SlapperCast like this, but we need to do it over here because we're having some coffee sent down from Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
They want us to try. It's another flavored coffee, but I told them it's we're not doing flavored coffee unless we all wear little skirts and dance around in rainbows and whiskers on kittens and all that. So, but it's coming in. We're our Nebraska connection. They're in love with it. They're all in love with it. So they're trying to push another flavor because, after cinnamon, which we're sold out of now, aren't we?
I have 4 bags here that I have not had an opportunity to send to anybody.
Well, we're practically sold out. I mean, from what we had, so anyway, they're sending us another thing. So look, we have the trifecta. We have all of us present.
We're back.
Little baby Eric C. Hughes is back.
We're back, baby. Full strength, apparently.
How was your Christmas with your folks? And Jennifer came out, right?
It was lovely. We had a nice time. As usual, it's going to be a small Christmas, and it wasn't. It was just ridiculous. Capitalism is still alive and well in my family, apparently. Yeah. Especially my sister. She gave us a really nice Cuisinart air fryer, toaster, oven kind of thing that she has, and she loves it. She gave my parents one. She gave us one. And I'm like, cool, that's our Christmas gift. Thank you. It's lovely. It's way you've done too much. And then we get to the tree, and it's just like, oh, here's one for you, and here's one for you. And I'm just like, fucking hell, we got you one thing. What are you doing? We're too old for this shit. We don't need stuff anymore.
Yes, I concur.
But we got all the stuff. I told my parents, I'm like, yeah, I'd just rather just have like consumables, like food and maybe a nice wine or whatever. Fucking cooler full of steaks and pork chops and bacon and all this shit. And then like these bottles and bottles of wine. I'm just like, yeah, I meant like one thing, but that's just how my folks are. They're very here.
Luckily, it's Eric Cooking Hughes. That's what the C is for.
Exactly.
Luckily, they're. Wow. Well, that's great. Yeah, and Jennifer doing good?
She's crazy. She decided to get her teeth cleaned the 21st or 22nd of December.
That's not crazy, Eric.
However, the version of teeth cleaning that she did was this kind of laser cleaning, where they like send a laser like under your gums. I don't fucking understand it. I'm not a scientist. I play one on TV, but they send a laser into your mouth to get like way under the gum line, and then your gums have to heal because they've just been shot with a fucking laser for the last hour. So she couldn't eat any food, no solid food. I'm like, Mom just made this nice Christmas dinner. You can't eat any fucking food. So she's just.
Can you chew it up for? Can you chew it up for her and baby bird it?
No, what she was doing was she decided to eat like bread and potatoes, which is awesome. That's like the diet of a 6-year-old, and she would put it in her mouth and kind of do this with it, like chew it with her tongue and get it moist enough.
Wow, moist
to swallow it whole, basically. So
wow, ugh.
Could you schedule that for any other time, but right before a big holiday where you know you're going to be eating like a fiend?
Hey, but maybe she, you know, maybe that was a win, not eating everything in sight.
I don't subscribe to that policy, sir. It's the
Okay.
holidays. You have to be full of meat, cheese, and chocolate by the time you get to New Year's,
Yeah,
which
I agree.
I am. Thank you.
You what?
I am
Hey,
full
that
of meat
bagel
and
was
cheese
really
and
good,
chocolate.
by the way.
Oh, do you enjoy it? Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
What bagel do you speak of, Chad? Yeah, top marks.
We had a meeting yesterday, and Eric showed up with these freshly baked, self-baked bagels.
Everything bagel.
Everything bagels, yeah. Quite good. Quite
Excellent.
good.
I'm glad you
Yes.
enjoyed them.
I was impressed.
They were there for your edification.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, very, very, very good.
Excellent.
You know what? You know what we forgot.
We haven't
We're
forgot.
recording this.
Yeah, we are recording this.
Eric,
We're
do
6
your
minutes in.
magic. Eric, work your magic.
Back from missing a couple episodes due to travel and whatnot. But Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
This is episode number 152 of SlapperCast, and it is a new year. Well, it is for y'all, not for us yet, but we'll just pretend.
Yeah.
The joke is make sure you poop on New Year's Eve. That way you don't carry that shit into next year. Hey.
Oh,
Thank you.
so we actually have an agenda today. Should we move on to the agenda?
Let's shout.
Yeah, I think so.
We've spoken of the naughty list the past couple weeks. We wanted to wait till Eric was here before we started digging into it, right? So, who wants to start?
So essentially, the naughty list was going to be before Christmas or at Christmas, whatever episode that was going to be, and we're just going to talk about. We're very aware that when you drive away from the gig, you know that how we're just 99. It seems like about 99.3% of the time we're just in love with the club and the sound and the staff and the data. But there are those moments, there are those times that you drive away and you're like, what the fuck was that? I'm never going back there again. That is a shithole and blah, blah, blah. So we had kind of compiled, you know, these clubs that we played over these. Some we've even talked about before. But so just recently in the last few months, we played a couple of places that have just been I mean, you know, the kind of place where you wouldn't let a stray dog loose in, you know, just, you know, never mind invite your friends out to see it. And it's just incredible to me that the level of hospitality that's available, especially in a town like Houston. You know, Houston's such a great food town. It's such a great, it's so friendly. You know, if you, we've all three of us have lived up on the Northeast, and we know about, you know, you don't say hello to the people on the street. You don't, you know, you keep to yourself. You're not, you know, the drivers are extra crispy and, you know, so it's, you know, you come down here, you know, you expect a little bit of Southern hospitality, a little bit of, not so much. Some of these places just ignorant and then also to have the gear that's available to you today, you know, the audio equipment that's available to you today, and then have this crappy, you know, gear and expect these bands to come in and perform at the highest level. So very, very, very disheartening to say the least.
Are you speaking about these?
Oh my God, what a shithole!
Shall we start with these?
Shithole, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of cartoon censoring in this episode for the yeah. That's okay.
Oh,
Speak
okay.
freely.
So we should censor ourselves with the name now that we've already said it out loud?
We can.
I mean,
we can or whatnot.
Is
but
anybody from that particular venue going to watch this SlapperCast? Are we worried about that?
no, not. I mean, no, I'm not worried about.
Yeah, word could get around. We at least should pretend that people are listening to the show.
We should at least pretend that someone gives a shit about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give one plus to that. A couple pluses, then we can totally slay into it. From a restaurant point of view, the food was okay. The service was actually good.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that were taking care of us genuinely seemed to care for us. As far as the space goes, it's a new space, so it still had a little bit of a shine to it. And that's all the nice things I'm going to say about it. As far as like a live music venue, it was completely set up the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
It was not set up correctly to be a live music venue. You had that whole long room on this side. The stage was directly in front of the bar, and you had that little weird side room over here. Now, granted, people, if you're listening, it was all open. There were some columns in the way. The columns basically divided the room into different sections. But you can, and you guys can carry on about the sound person and the sound. The sound system was good, but just not used to its effectiveness.
It could have been, but when you don't hire the people to run your equipment, you can have the greatest equipment in there, and it's still going to sound like you're throwing shit down a chute. You know, it's
which it did.
It's got no. Yes, you can put a level to on everything to where you can hear everything, but that doesn't necessarily help everything. So and that was nice of you to say something nice about the club. I think if we can say something nice about the club, we should say it. I will say the nicest thing about that club is easily, but yes. So talking about the in-ear system that we're using, we are self-contained. So, once we get the mix in our ears, we can play and happily, However, that doesn't, when we're not controlling the sound, we don't get a chance to set it up the way that we're going to do. So the people that were there that come to see us were saying, we can't hear anything. The sound is terrible. So
they could hear the drums just fine.
Well,
and I wasn't even that fucking loud. I was playing quiet.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
No, that was one of the things too. When I look back at you, I was uncomfortable watching you play because I've never seen you kind of leaning away from the kit and playing. You're masterful in your technique, and what I mean is you can play as loud and passionately, but not look like you're beating the tar out of the skins. You know what I mean? That was uncomfortable to watch because you were really holding, pulling. People say pull your punches. You look like you were pulling the sound from the. I was
playing my musical theater volume.
Yeah.
I learned how to play quietly from playing all those years of musical theater where you had to not drown out the dialogue or stuff like that. But it's challenging. I mean, that's a challenging thing to do is for anybody, any instrument, is to play quietly with enough intensity that the energy still comes across. But after the first couple, I don't know, maybe after the first set, I think my energy was gone because of just the disheartening and the just the way that the night was going as far from the club standpoint. It was nice that there were people there, but they were like, oh, we can't hear you guys. And people are walking by, like pointing to Patrick, like turn the guitar up. And he's like, why? And why couldn't we turn up, guys? Tell us why.
Oh, because they kept telling us turn down, right?
No, the fucking floor manager was in charge of the sound system.
Yeah.
The person who's in charge of expediting food and drinks to everybody was the one holding the fucking iPad.
Right.
And nothing against her, but
well, I think that's the thing is now everybody is supposed to do 10 jobs because it's a strange time. They don't have the money to. They don't have the money to pay a sound guy to be in there, and they're not a live fucking music venue. Face it, that's not a live music venue. This is that stage is for a fucking DJ and maybe a girl shaking it on a pole or something. That's it. There's no reason for anything more than a DJ to be in there. And if there's a solo acoustic person in there, I feel sorry for them too, because you can't see it in the aforementioned, side room or in the room that's, so yeah. So that was torture. That was torture playing that because people are asking us to play stuff. We'd furnish a request and they'd, I think that was it, but yeah, thanks. So it's just so fucking annoying. And the most annoying thing for me was I could hear what they were playing out on the patio outside us. So right behind the wall, behind us was the street and big glass door and whatnot. And when the door would open, you could hear the bass and the computer music going on behind us, and it was louder than we were. So so that tells me that you're trying to, and this used to annoy me about many clubs back in the day, whereas they would try to do a reggae night on Sunday, then they'd do a rock night on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then they would do a country night on so basically what they're saying is we want everybody to come here all the time and make this your one-stop shop. You can't fucking do that. Nobody can do that.
Remember that time we played up in at Moe's in Cyprus, and that kid was playing before us, and he just kept going and going and going, and kept drinking and drinking, and wouldn't get off the stage. He played that
Oh
place
yeah,
we're talking about the night before.
right.
So I mean that may be as far as I would go for that for that venue to have that kind of music, like the one solo acoustic guy. Two people may be too much in that room, but even that guy, knowing what he does when he does the checka stomp, the looping thing. So that may be too much for them too, and probably they were asking him to turn down. Who fucking knows?
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
We do know another band that had the same problems there.
Well, they had the same problems, but they're tailor made for this in that they are again all direct, but they're also playing the music that this venue seeks. You know what they seem to be looking for, and they get the call. From the club, and they play there a bunch of times too, and they get the call from the clubs. Hey, yeah, we're going to change direction. We're going to. They just don't know what they want, and when you don't know what you want, and you're trying to sell that, when it comes across loud and clear, and their customers are the I guess the shiny happy people or happy whatever they're those the people that just care more about what they look like than where they're going or what they're going to partake in that night. It's just all the shiniest cars and all the. It's just it to me it has a feeling of a model model store in a toy store, like a model scene in a toy store. Everything looks candy apple red and shiny and it's just it's so fake. It's such a.
Yeah, we talked to that. We were talking. I don't know who. Maybe it's me and Chad, or maybe me or whatever. Somebody was talking to that guy outside after the show, and who was at the show, and he said he really enjoyed it. He's a musician himself. He just moved down to the Woodlands from North Carolina. I can't tell if that's an upgrade or a downgrade, but whatever. He was saying that. Oh yeah, he's like this. Is like it's like a 40 to 50-year-old kind of pickup bar kind of thing. That's what it really is. He's like he noticed that there's a lot of people in there trying to pick each other up who are on the older side. And and the other thing too was, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, then we can move on to or somewhere else, is that you notice the music they played during the break. And I don't know if you noticed those three kids that were dancing on the side of the stage with all the twerking and stuff like that. I mean, It seems like that's more their audience than people that want to hear a good or even a mediocre band. They want to hear like a DJ play those fucking shitty songs so they can grind on a post or whatever the kids do these days.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ugh.
A must miss.
Yes. I give it 2 amputated thumbs down.
2 thumbs down?
Yeah. Two enthusiastic amputated thumbs down with gangrene.
Is there a chance we can get a thumb icon on each of our pictures when we
yeah.
thumbs down?
Or we could just screenshot it right now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Ooh, thumbs down.
Take your time, Chad. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. So Chad, any parting words on the Woodlands?
It's definitely true what you're saying that Eric was definitely not playing loud, and because I was standing both of us were standing right next to him, and I had to keep turning you up in my monitors, which is rare when I'm standing right next to you. So that was there was definitely some huge acoustic problems with that room, even besides the fact that the stage was not in the right place. There seemed to be like a little, like I noticed people who would walk right in front of us would be like, oh, okay. But there was no place for them to sit, unless they were sitting at the bar. And then, but everybody who was on the sides was like, I don't know, because probably all they could hear was the echo of it coming from other parts of the room. It's just absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Agreed. So then we go south, right? We go south.
we go south. Yeah.
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 That was a fun one.
That was a big disappointment too with this other place because it was a really great. It was kind of far out of town, but the grounds. It was this huge area with a big outdoor seating area, huge stage, and it was just the whole layout of the place was great. I thought it was actually pretty well constructed and everything. It looked like it could be a really fun place.
I agree.
But the owner who was in charge of letting people in that night just ruined everything. It was just one person. That's the only problem with this place. It's just one person. And they just ruined it. And it was like we made jokes about this. It's like going down a list of what's everything I can do to just ensure that none of these people ever come back to my bar again, and just it was insane.
Check every fucking one of them.
Yeah. It was insane.
But
go ahead.
But the upside to that place was they breed a hell of a mosquito.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So they have a lot of standing water around them, and I think one of their claims to fame is that they spray for mosquitoes all day, all night. But it really is. If you have a fan on the stage, I don't know what kind of a rock and roll band would do that. But basically all you're doing is creating an expressway into your mouth for these fucking bugs. But yeah, there was oh my God, it was
Let me say, I can say one plus thing about this place.
That was the plus thing.
I know, but I'm going to add to your list. Really nice alligator park there. If you went over by the water, there were 3 or 4 alligators in the water, so that was fun. You get to see some wildlife.
Bring the kids.
Bring the kids. 3 go out, only 2 come home. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see some alligators, which is fun. I always like seeing alligators from a distance, even though they could totally climb over that fence if they really wanted to. So that's a plus. And I think that may be it for me. That's the only plus I could think of, was that there were alligators there.
I did like the stage. I like the size of it, and I like the fact that you could, again, just like the last club we're talking about. This place, you were expected to bring your gear and turn it up. They want a show. That's the good part. Unfortunately, these people that believe that if you have X amount of people on your Facebook page, well, you're a great draw for them. That might work in some places, but you have to remember you got to have a band of substance that your clientele are going to like. B, you got to like your fucking clientele, and obviously you don't like your clientele if you don't vet the band and the their draw. Just you cannot just fill X's in clear in you can't put X's in boxes and just put whatever band that you think has a following and expect them to draw well at your club. Your clientele needs to know that you can be trusted. We go back to the Continental Club all the time because the Continental Club is our gold standard as far as places to play and people that run it and people that care about the music, that they care about music first. That's not the case down there. They want anybody in there that's going to bring a bunch of people. Well, that doesn't fucking work for you. For if you have regulars, which I don't believe they do. Your people the band's people that are coming, need to know that there's a fucking, we're used to hospitality down here. We're used to having good, a nice venue, welcoming, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Drive me fucking crazy.
So didn't she go on like Facebook Live and like berate her followers for not being there? What was the story?
I don't know that. Yeah, I know that she got on Lori's case because Lori was doing her usual Facebook Live of a couple of songs, and she got chastised by this woman for doing that. I don't remember that thing though, but yeah, that's probably true. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
thought maybe I'm making this up, but it makes for a good story anyway. Apparently, or maybe she told Laura, she's like, you need to tell your people to get down here now.
Yes.
Or she had posted on the Scotty's thing, hey, look, this band is playing. You need to get down here now and check these guys out, like angrily, like not like, hey, check it out, we got a cool band tonight. Always got great stuff happening down here at Scotty. Blah 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 blah. Come on down and check it out. I think there was something that it was completely negative about the exchange, and maybe she had told Lori,
Well,
you need to tell your people to get down here, kind of.
yeah, well, she didn't like her live streaming at all. This is one of the things on the list.
It's
Because
to
there's
what
this
end?
myth.
To what
Yeah.
end?
Let me go down the list real quick. There's
Okay.
at least 3 huge things. It was more than 3, but first of all, they'd advertised our start time to be way earlier than we're actually starting. Despite we put the right time on our stuff, they had us like they had something stupid on there like 6. I think we're starting at 9. They had us like at 6 p.m. or something like that. And because when we got there was a friend of ours. They had gotten there like they'd been sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours because that's what the club told them. And because they were so patient, they stuck around. Most people would not hang around that long after being fucked around like that. That was one of the huge mistakes. The other one is, she when Lori was live streaming, she comes up, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, I'm live streaming to the Facebook page, to let people know about the show. Like, no, you can't do that because then if they see that, then they won't come out. Like, no, that's not how it works. That's never how it works. I know that is a myth I've heard a few people say. It's just not true.
If you're going to put the whole show on if you're going to live stream the whole show, yes. What's the point in coming out? You can just watch the show from the comfort of your home. But if you're showing she waits for the songs that she knows are popular. She'll record a few minutes of it and also get the people from out of state, a chance to watch it and see it and blah, blah, blah. But you're also advertising the club. You're not there saying, hey, watch this show. Don't come near because Lord knows we don't want you down here having a good time or, leaving with a T-shirt or meeting somebody that, just.
Yeah. My view of it is like if you're planning to go out, that the going out is the thing. That's one of the huge things that you're actually planning to do and looking forward to do. I just can't imagine being all ready to go and sitting down and going, oh, well, with a live streaming. It's good. I'm just going to sit down on the couch and watch it here. I mean, if they're doing that, then they weren't going to go in the first place. It's great for people who can't be there, like they're in a different state. They can't leave home because they're quarantining or they're watching their kids or who knows. But
watching your kids, Chad.
The people who are going to come out, they're going to come out unless you unless you throw roadblocks in the way like this place was doing. So that was ridiculous. The other thing was, this was right around the time of my birthday. It was just back in June. And Lori had surprised me and us by bringing this wonderful cake that she had made. Actually, it was just one big cake and a bunch of cupcakes, vegan cupcakes, this chocolate. They're really, really good. So she comes in with this, and this same woman, one of the co-owners of the place, says you can't bring that in here. What? It's a birthday cake. No, you can't bring any outside food. Yeah, but it's a birthday cake. Do you sell birthday cakes here? It's like, okay, well, you can bring it in, but we're going to have to, you can only bring it out later. I'm going to lock you. And she took it away from Lori and locked it in the office. So we couldn't even get to it when Lori was ready to give us some. She couldn't even get to it. That I was fuming about, not because it was it was partially because it was my birthday cake that angered me, but it is so bone-chillingly stupid that a bar owner would do that. People go to bars to celebrate their birthday. They're going to bring their own cake. You can't turn away a whole party of people just because they brought a birthday cake. It's what the fuck is wrong with this person? So yeah, that was oof. I mean, seriously, Lori was just one person coming in, but you're telling me, a party of potentially 10, 20, 15 people coming in, and you're going to turn all of them away and fuck up their night because of a cake. You're a bar. You're not a bakery. Anyway.
Especially not
that's
a vegan.
My rant about that.
Especially not a vegan bakery.
Yeah.
That sort of short-sightedness is just is beyond reproach. It's just like you don't like people, you're in the wrong business. You need to be working in an office somewhere, answering a phone or a call center.
or you don't respect the band enough to let them do what they're doing. Because we caught a lot of flack for the time that we released these dates, and put the advertising up. We've been doing this for quite a while, and we've kind of figured out our best way to engage with our audience and let them know these shows. If we put them out too early, or we play too many shows to keep bombarding them with the same ad over and over again for one place, it has to be we tried to do a level, even. It doesn't matter if it's a big show or a little show. All the shows are getting the same amount of sunlight, but we're we're given a lot of shit about the regularity in which they saw this event come up. But I will say on the plus side, another nice thing about the bar is they did have a nice warm, hot place to store those vegan cupcakes and cakes. So they did have a nice place to put that in to confiscate it. When the teacher would confiscate your illegal accoutrement, whatever you had, and put them in it. Contraband. Thank you. And she put them in a nice place, so they were nice and runny and melting, and so they did have that. They had that going for them. But fuck, man,
and those cupcakes were moist.
They were very, very good.
Moist.
You reminded me very much of Tasty Cakes from the we're talking about the Northeast. You remember Tasty Cakes, right, Eric?
I never had those, actually. I was more of a Drake's man myself.
Okay,
Drake's Cakes.
Yeah, Tasty Cakes was a Philadelphia thing, but you can even get them now. They've been in Houston for a long time.
I don't think we had those up north where I grew up. We had Drake's, and then eventually we got Hostess. But Drake's were the king.
Yeah, Cool. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that place.
Oh, fuck that place.
Yeah. Fuck it with a cupcake.
Yeah, a runny chocolatey cupcake.
Yeah.
So, and there's a fairly, not a long list, but a handsome sized list of places that have delayed our show because of sports events and things like that. Which I understand sometimes that's going to happen, but there is at least two occasions I can think of where it was clear that one of them didn't want us there to begin with. They didn't want any bands there. The second place was a new place, and they just totally screwed the pooch. They totally fucked up this one too, because it was a big deal. We've talked about this, the Oklahoma City one. But I think the more recent one is a more interesting story in Conroe.
Yeah, that was before Eric's time, but
yeah, both of these.
Well, here's the thing. Again, with do you want to be a live music venue or do you want to be a sports bar? And if you want both, then fucking have them separate enough. Have it in it, have them in areas to where you can do both. Freeze the band on stage quietly, like during a fucking sporting event that needs no sound. You don't need any commentary. If you don't have the space to do both, the sports does not need commentary. People know what the fucking rules of the game, and they will watch the game and they can listen to music if you can't do both. But what drives me up the fucking wall is the playoffs start, and you've got your beloved home team, and you've got the band standing on stage, essentially just fucking waiting for something to happen.
It's like they're being held prisoner.
Yeah.
like I'd rather not play than stand here and look like a jackass waiting for the seventh inning stretch or whatever the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and also, the clubs, if you're going to be a sports bar, then have the foresight not to book a band during the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
all there is to it. These bands that I see, our show got canceled tonight because the game's been moved to today, or it's a tiebreak. Whatever. The new sporting, you don't need to be a live music venue. And every person watching that game, every person that went to that bar to watch the game is leaving when the band comes on. You can put Van fucking Halen on the stage and start them up at the final whistle, and they're still going to leave. They're not there for music. They're there for But the people that come for music wouldn't mind the fucking TVs on, as long as obviously they're not in front of the stage and whatnot. But you know,
That, no,
I just
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Patrick. And then I'll jump in.
I just find it horrendous to call yourself a live music venue and then put sports, sports on all the TVs, on all the thing, and Molly's is an exception, and I'll tell you why, because it's a neighborhood pub that found out that they can coexist with live music. They're never going to put a band on Super Bowl Sunday that's going to affect or infect the flow of the day, So we have just one or the other, or have the room to do both. So
yeah.
Well, actually, this happened recently to us, and we may not remember this, but it was October of 2020, and we actually had an Einstein's gig on the books. And we played out on Mason Road, and it was the night of an Astros playoff game. And I can't remember if they asked us to start later or we just started later on our own accord. But that place was fucking full of Astros fans. And to your point, Patrick, as soon as that game was over, the room went from, let's just say 75% capacity to about 35% capacity. I mean, that room cleared out after us, and we went ahead and we did our show, and we did it with aplomb and professionalism. But yeah, as soon as the game was over, the bar cleared out because they knew that we were going to start.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I completely forgotten about that too. Another good stage and good sized room, and had all the makings of a and they were going through a rough time too, because it was that weird. Do we close?
Are we open? Are we closed? What's happening? Yeah, that was definitely a weird time, but definitely it was like sports, yay, band, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't. Yeah, that's a really good. I completely forgot about that. That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. That they did ask us to go on later, which was fine. Again, you could not show me one Astros fan in there that would have minded a band playing while the game was on.
Yeah, and the game was on full volume too. Like it was like who cares? You can.
Yeah.
You can show.
I mean, when you go to see a game live in person, there's no fucking play-by-play. You just watch the fucking game.
Yeah. You can't hear the TV anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Most bars. Why would you watch? That's why there's a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing I'll say. Shut up, watch. Siri apparently triggered Siri just then.
Tell her she can eat a D.
Siri, Eric said. All the Moe's pubs, they're pretty good about, because they have bands all the time and there's TVs everywhere. But if there's a game on, they just turn the sound off and let the band do their thing. I think maybe we've only been delayed there, maybe briefly. I can't remember if that's ever actually happened, but the fans, I mean, the patrons don't care. They'll sit there, they'll watch us, they'll watch the game, they'll watch us. That's not an ideal situation, but it certainly is better than making people wait for hours, as some of these places have done.
Yeah.
Namely, this is a place we played in 2017 in Conroe. Really nice place. It was brand new. And this was when the Astros were in the World Series. I forget which game it was, but it was, obviously I understand it's a big deal. We had a lot of people in Conroe who have been dying to see us up there. We pretty much packed that whole room, and we're supposed to start at a certain, I forget what time it was, like 7, 8, something like that. The game stretched on it was like a long haul game. It wasn't until like after 10 o'clock, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours at least, that they made everybody wait. By the time we went on, half the people who had come to see us were gone because they couldn't stay. Not only was it annoying, but they had to get home because they had babysitters waiting for them, or whatever, And that was such a bungle, such a huge mistake. It was similar to the other place we're talking about, where people, the woman was just doing everything she could to turn people away, the birthday cake thing. This was a brand new place, and that's their first experience. They can then come there and be inconvenienced for 2 or 3 hours because, again, they didn't have to. They could have kept the game on the TV sets. And also, where the stage was, there weren't any TVs in there. It was just a stage. It was over in the bar area where that was. And so they were just worried that, if we let the band start now, it's going to drive away the sports patrons. Meanwhile, you're inconveniencing the 50 plus people who are waiting for us.
Yeah. On top of that, too, that was the place. That was the place that was telling us not to make any noise.
Yeah.
They were also like, "Oh, okay, it's commercial. You can sound check now, but just be done by the time the." So,
what the fuck?
Have you been to a fucking venue before? You stupid. This is the again. This drives me crazy about music. These fake music venues. Hey, guys, put put on a great show. Do it, but let's do it at like a 2. Let's keep the volume at about 2, and then when it gets really crazy, let's put it to about 3. But let's not go past that because we don't want anybody to think that it's a rock and roll band. All right, let's keep it nice and quiet. You've never really been out before, have you? So
you don't understand how music works.
Yeah,
it was especially frustrating too because it was actually really pretty room. The stage was well positioned. It was like right in the center of the room.
Yeah, but it was a fucking skateboard. It was about as wide as
but it could have been. The stage could have been a little bigger, but still, it was much nicer than we're used to, and especially in a restaurant. This is essentially a restaurant we're playing in, and they had a real sound guy who knew what he was doing, but he couldn't do anything because we couldn't play. And I remember we got all sound checked with him, and then we're all just sitting around waiting for them to let us play, and I think the sound guy was just as annoyed as we were because he didn't have anything to do, and he knew it was a mistake. But it wasn't his position. It wasn't his place to say anything.
Yeah, embarrassing, and again, 90% of the people that come out to those places have no idea how it works, so they think that we are standing on the stage refusing to play because there's a game on.
Yeah.
So if they'd heard, if they hear of your band and they go to see you and you're not starting on time, but you're there. They look at it as they're waiting for the place to get packed, or they're waiting for the commercial that they want to come on before they start. So it reflects poorly on everybody, but especially the band because it looks like we're not we're not ready.
Yeah,
but we literally stood on that fucking skateboard. That is essentially like playing on a 2x4. It was. But you're just standing there waiting to go, and and I still remember how embarrassed I felt standing there waiting for this fucking thing to stop so we could, play for the people that had made the effort to come out and see us. And
that was particularly bad. That's probably the worst I can think of. I think that was just the situation where people were forced to wait way longer than I think than it had ever happened at any other place. Even in Oklahoma City, I think it was longer than that. Although that felt longer though because those people were miserable.
Yeah, Oklahoma City we've talked about before, and then essentially what it was, we were booked through the club's agent, and it was on a Sunday. It was the end of a tour, and they put us on the same day as some football game where the big screen came down over the stage, and they. The staff did not want any sight or sound of any kind of band that day. They all wanted a Sunday to be at the bar and do nothing and make no money and keep the doors closed if they could. And we came in and we just got all in their fucking way. And we were really polite until we figured out that this was never ending. This was never going to be you were not going to get a chance to win them over or to, So our first time playing in that town, but also just embarrassingly long wait, through the game. And, hey, can we start now? Yeah, I mean, just wankers. That must have been the factory where they make wankers, because I've never seen anything as just dopey as that exchange in my entire days.
That was miserable. That whole chain of pubs is gone now, by the way, right?
No, there's still one or two of them.
Okay,
there's still one or two of them.
All right,
Eric, give us a story like that your pre-Blaggard experience. Give us something like that.
It's similar. Like, I had gotten this call from a buddy of mine, a bass player, and it was weird. I was living in Austin. the first time, and I had a Saturday night off for some reason on the calendar, and I was just kind of hanging about, and he was like, "Hey, I have this gig. Do you want to come play?" I go, "Yeah, I guess." And I played with him before, so I trusted him. I'm like, "Where is it?" He's like, "It's up in Round Rock." And he's like, "Here's the name of the club," and it was, of course, a strip mall sports bar kind of
Yes.
thing. And the guy I was playing with, though, and you don't need to bleep this out. This is nothing. This is not a slag too much. His name is Hayden Vitera, and Hayden Vitera is a really excellent fiddle player and singer, and he was playing with some. I'm not sure who he plays with now, but back then he was playing in some sort of bigger type band, and it may have been one of the Vallejo brothers playing
That's
guitar.
correct.
So it was Hayden and one of the Vallejo brothers, this guy Vance on bass, and me on drums, and it was just kind of a here's what the songs are going to be, kind of good luck, fly by the seat of your pants stuff. But we get there, and of course it's a UT University of Texas football game because it's a Saturday. It's a primetime game. It might have been even the same year where they made their run for the national championship. So they were hot. They were winning all their games. And it was one of those deals where the big screen was on the stage, but behind where the band was. And so they said, you have to set up your stuff off stage. And then when it's time to play, you can throw it up on the stage. And of course, it was a primetime game, and it's football, so it takes forever anyway. Minimum 3.5 hours for any kind of game. So we're supposed to start at 10. We didn't start till almost midnight, and Hayden, the gig was probably a throwaway gig for all of us. Like, we're playing in some random sports bar in Round Rock, Texas. Who gives a shit? But I showed up, dressed up, ready to go, and Hayden showed up hammered, like completely stumbling drunk. And the only good thing was, because of the delay of the start time, the Vallejo guy kept giving him water. And so by the time we started, he was actually in pretty decent shape to play, because he had stopped drinking basically during that time. But I was just like, oh, this gig is going to be awesome. Like, when he showed up like that, I go, I can't wait to see it. But it actually turned out to be fine. Oh, we played like 12 to 1:30 or whatever it was, or 11:30, whatever it was. But yeah, just like, oh no, you can't play because the big screen is behind you, and we have to watch the big screen with the fucking volume,
Full blast.
cranked full blast. Yeah. So, and the other, I want to tell this story because I think it's fucking hilarious, but maybe no one else will think it's funny. When I was going to New Orleans all the time to go see Leslie before she moved over here, there was this bar called the Carrie Irish Bar. I mean, how original.
It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Landmark.
it's right behind. Yeah, Total Dive Bar. It's right behind the Tiki Bar that I love to go to. And so what I would do is she would have to go to work. I'd get up and walk around the city and end up at the Carry at some point to have an Irish coffee to kind of start the day, kind of a thing. And the bartender there was like this New York guy, an old punk rock dude, and he and I would be the only ones in the bar. And every once in a while, he'd talk to me, and we would talk about music and stuff like that. And he'd be, okay, you're cool. I like you. And I would go back time and time again to go see him, and he would turn me on to all different kinds of music, blah, blah, blah. One time, Saturday afternoon, sitting there just having my Irish coffee. He's drinking coffee because he doesn't drink. And all these Kansas University people walk in wearing their Kansas University shirts. And,
Yeah.
and the game was on like this really tiny TV in the corner. And the game was on there, no sound. And the guy was like, hey, can we get the game on the big screen? And John was like, well, how many people are you going to be? Like 6. He's like, I'm not pulling down the big screen for 6 people. You need to get more people in here. I'm not. I go, and he's like, are they all going to be drinking? He's like, yeah. He's like, we're not watching the game if nobody's drinking. They got to be drinking. So
See?
to his credit, he was kind of doing like the musician thing, like,
In reverse.
this is more important. What I'm doing right now is more important than your stupid game. Me tending bar to this one guy is way more important than tending bar to 5 other people that want to watch a stupid basketball game. And
Drinking water. Yes.
Drinking water. And to their credit, they came in and they started ordering drinks, and they started ordering Jameson and stuff like that. So he was happy about that. And I think he even mentioned, he may have mentioned, like, and make sure your people tip too. Like, he was like, fuck all you guys. I'd rather have this one guy in here than all you fucking assholes watching a stupid basketball game. So
That's
yeah,
but that's how you do it. That
he's not wrong by any stretch of the
no,
imagination. He's not
no.
wrong. It's like if I got to deal with you people, I want to get paid.
Yeah, well, that's funny. You bring up my bartending days too, and we were stuck in the places that we played on a Saturday and Sunday afternoon. You're fucking stuck. You're at the mercy of whatever those pricks want to. And I just say I say that the coffee and the water drinkers, because it's essentially a bar. So you're basically running coffee and appetizers, and just it's excruciatingly painful to have that day crowd not drinking, not tipping, not
Exactly.
doing anything except getting on your last fucking nerve. Right. So yeah, that's I like that. I like that story.
Yeah.
Tell it again, Uncle Eric. Tell it again.
And that guy, and the one really cool thing about him is once he realized that I was a musician and I wasn't going to be like a dickhead about anything, because I would just walk in there and there'd be nobody in there. And so he'd have to get up and come to work. I go, "Do you have coffee?" He's like, "Yeah." "Can I get Irish coffee?" "Sure." And then I get whatever going on. And I would tip really well because I know the business. But he turned me on to there's a whole thing called Nuggets, the Nuggets box set. It's like all the weird psychedelic 60s stuff. It's a box set of like 4 or 5 CDs. It has all the cool, like, not the stupid like Doors, early Pink Floyd stuff, like all the kind of like pop stuff that was like on the like the Count Five and Music Machine and stuff like that, which is kind of like still rock and roll but getting kind of weird in the 60s, before the 60s went crazy. There's one called Los Nuggets, and it's all the Mexican, South American, Spanish pop stuff. Like they'll sing like regular pop tunes, but they'll sing it phonetically. And he was playing it one day. I'm like, "What the fuck is this? This is awesome." He's like, "Oh, it's called Los Nuggets." And I immediately texted Thomas at the bar, "Do you have Los Nuggets?" He's like, "Yep." I go, "Hold it for me. I want to pick it up when I get home." And it's 4 CDs of like the greatest fucking Spanish rock and roll you'll ever hear in your life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thomas
So
is Six Lagoon, by the way, right?
Yeah, Six Lagoon. Yeah, he turned me on that record. So, yeah.
And little side note too. So I'm shopping before Christmas, and this guy comes up and goes, "Hey Patrick, how you doing?" I said, "Who the fuck are you? Who are you?" It was Tomas from Sigs. He had his hat on, his glasses, his mask.
Oh yeah.
He says, I don't recognize his ears. That was the only thing I could see.
Fair enough.
But yeah, good. That was fun. It was just hilarious because we were in this shop and we were just both kind of marveling at, this is great. What a great shop and nobody in it and having it. But yeah, Sigs Lagoon.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, but I like that Kerry story. That's how you do it. Again, that's in the French Quarter. So you're going to you're not going to run into a Hooters where yes they'll change the channel, yes they'll run and get you this, and you're running into these people are in fucking business to be in business. They're not in business, to fucking shop or to placate these tourists that have never been inside a real bar before.
Yeah, he and where that's located, it's just off of St. Peter's, so it's like right on the. If you're looking at a map, it's kind of on the front end of where the quarter is, so there could be like a lot of first stops for a lot of people. And John would always work the day shift, so he would open at whatever time, and then by 3:00 or so, he would be out the door. I can't. They probably open at like 6 a.m. or something stupid like that, because it's New Orleans and it's right there. But yeah, he was a lot of fun to hang out with. I'm going back there in a few weeks, so maybe I'll run into him. If I do, I'll maybe hand him a CD or something like that.
Yeah,
indeed. Cool. Shall we put a pin in it? Shall we wrap it up?
I think
it's
so.
It's been about an hour of dish and dirt.
It's good. It flew by.
Yeah, absolutely did. Yeah, we have Elvirus Hates Christ coming on. We're going to probably have it as a double, because I think if we put anything in the middle of this, it's going to be.
Yeah, this is already a good length.
So we never know. We can, depending on how it rides, we might be able to split it up into 2 with whatever it is. But I do want to say that it's a testament to you guys as well that we've played these shows and we've dealt with these people and we've been able to walk out and never have you can always hang your hat on the gig. Of course, you're only hearing our side of it, but at the same time, you're not seeing a band go in and mail it in, and there's never a time where you just kind of go in and say, yeah, we know a bunch of songs, we're going to play them, and you're going to fucking like them, or you're a dick. That's not how it is. It's every time that we've left, we've been on good terms with the wait staff or the bar staff or the whatever it is. We've never gone in looking for a scrap or trying to piss on anybody's fire. We've always tried to help it. It's a testament to our professionalism and how we handle it. So I'm looking forward to playing a lot of new venues, and we're not going to change anytime soon. And there's I can't fucking wait for this year to start so we can just start hitting the bricks.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Sure.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Yes.
New Year. Oh,
Thanks for listening.
Let's go forward,
That's right.
not backwards. Always twirling into the future.
Yes.
All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
Most certainly. Thank you. Cheers, y'all.
Bye.